Welcome to my podcast, Apollonia Studio 6.
But so I get an audition for Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'd never really even seen a horror film. So I mean, I'd seen a couple old black and whites like Dracula and some like late night whatever.
Night of the Living Dead.
I don't even think I saw that. Whatever they would play on like Channel 11 late at night.
Yeah.
And then it would go, it would go
Yes.
to the fuzz.
Remember that?
Even though I'm 20, I remember that.
Yep.
So I get the script and I'm reading it, and it was really scary.
Yeah.
And I'd read a couple horror novels, and so I was like, oh, this really reads like a good novel.
Yeah.
And at the time, my agents didn't want me to do it because they were like, if you do horror, that's the end of your career. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm just going to go on the audition, because I want to go on the audition. Yeah. And so I read for the role of Nancy, which I did not get. Heather Langenkamp got. But then my callback, it was the 4 kids. It was me, Heather, Nick Corey, who's now Jesu, went back to his real name, Jesu Garcia, and Johnny Depp. And we just did an improv for him, and he told us in the room we had the part. Like, that never happens. Has that ever happened to you, like on an audition?
Never.
Me neither since. And so my agent still didn't want me to do it. And I was like, I think I want to do it. I just think it would be fun. And I was like, no one's going to see it. Who cares? No one's going to care
managers
if I do
and
this.
agents single-handedly.
And then I wonder when I was with them how many scripts I never got even. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they were like, pass. And I'm like, but anyway, and so then we did it. And now that movie, we're all still good friends. And because you've been around when Heather's around or whatever. We're all still really good friends. So, and we had a great time doing that movie. Weird to say because it's such like murder and mayhem, but it was really, really fun.
That is, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
What were you about to say?
No, just go on.
No, you're probably about to say the same thing I was about to say.
No, I was just going to say that they still get together when they do autograph signings. They go to signing events.
Yeah. We'll go to like Comic-Cons or whatever. So we get to see each other many times of the year. And Robert and Steven, who's my guy, they like each other and send each other books and plays and I don't know, stuff like that.
Well, I was going to say that because I'm a horror fan.
Yeah. Loves.
Well, see, the thing is what makes you iconic was that you were Freddy's number 1.
That's right.
The very first.
Victim.
The very first.
Victim. Yep.
Yes. I like to rephrase that as I'm the first person who fought Freddy.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
And then I became his victim.
Yes.
But yeah, when you look at that movie, really, I'm only in the movie 20 minutes, I think. And 14 of those minutes in and out of that dream, I'm fighting for my life.
You are.
And you don't realize that until you go back and go, because I have scenes where I'm still sitting there talking to people, but they're only interspersed with me fighting for my life. And it's like really interesting way to open a film and hook people emotionally, which is why I think people like that movie. Because it's, you're like, oh, nobody's safe.
Yeah.
And, I heard somebody on a panel once say that all good horror is intrinsically sad.
Yep.
And when you look at the ones that have withstood the test of time, if you took the horror out, there's still a good story, and it gets you in the heart. I mean, then there's also slasher films that are just dice them up,
mindless.
Right.
Yeah, and that there's people like that too.
Yeah.
But the ones that last, so I like that, and Nightmare is that way. For a couple reasons. I think it was Wes's commentary also on that generation was the first generation of divorce, of mass divorce in our country. So there was a lot of latchkey kids and kids with one parent and kids kind of fighting for their life, just in life, like, they weren't really being as well cared for as, say, kids from the 1950s or even 60s.
Yeah.
And so I think there was that and that the innate animalistic nature of a human is to create a family, and the four of us kids created our own family because we didn't have one at home. So I think like on so many levels, people are able to connect with that because most of us have had to forge our own families at different times in our life. And,
Oh, that's true. What a great insight. And then doing it with Johnny Depp.
Wait, who? No.
I know, right? Man. And after that, I guess he did what, 21 Jump Street after that?
Yeah. He did. He might have done another movie or two before, like Private School or Ski School, or I don't know. And then he did 21 Jump Street, and he just, I is such a hard worker. Like even then, he hadn't acted before, and he had a coach with him all the time, and really, worked hard, wanted to learn everything about the camera and what it meant and how to use your props to help create more of your character and stuff. Like he really, really worked hard. And I've always thought that was amazing because, Robert had come from theater school. I'd come from theater school. So like I had that interest, and this was somebody that created that, for themselves, got a coach and did those things. And I think it for young people, I think people don't know that he worked that hard at what he did, and he really devoted his self and time to it.
Wow.
Welcome to my podcast, Apollonia Studio 6.